I grew up watching reruns of Spider-Man the Animated Series on Toon Disney/Jetix. I felt really happy when I saw him in X-Men 97 cameoing during Magneto's EMP. And then we see him again, with MJ at his side, or maybe she's a clone considering when this takes place, during the looting scenes of X-Men 97. So why don't I believe that a Spider-Man 98 isn't just around the corner? Well, there's a simple answer for that. That being a show called Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man for Disney+. The show was initially titled Spider-Man Freshman Year, which gave an impression that it was a prequel to the MCU Spider-Man, but in reality, it's sort of its own alternate universe divergent thing. It follows the misadventures of Peter Parker, so when he comes home, instead of meeting Tony Stark, he meets Norman Osborn. Obviously, this is a pretty big divergence from the MCU, and we would be truly exploring what an MCU-esque Midtown High would actually look like. We would also get a new cast of supporting characters. And trust me, we were going to get a bunch of them because this is a TV show, including Nico Minoru. Yes, that Nico Minoru from The Runaways. Somehow she's in New York in this universe, but whatever. And as much as I would like to see him reunite with the real Mary Jane, assuming this is the real Mary Jane and not just the clone that happened in 1997, I wouldn't be surprised if any possibility of a Spider-Man the Animated Series revival was ordered to be shelved because Marvel does not want two Spider-Man TV shows going on at the same time. Because for us as the super fans and less casual fans in general, we can tell them apart. But for the general public who these things are made for, they're just blending together. It's one thing to say, oh, we're targeting a preschool demographic for this show, and then have a show that's targeted towards an adult audience because their spheres are not expected to interact. It's another to invest in two shows using the same main character aimed at a specific audience of teens and young adults and expect a satisfactory return on investment for it. That's not even getting into account the confusion of the casual audience. To this day, there's enough people in the casual audience asking why Batman hasn't met Iron Man before Tony Stark bit the dust, because they really don't know about the difference between Marvel and DC. That's the casual audience for you. Not everyone will have the exact same emotional investment into one hobby as another guy has. That's fine. This doesn't rule out the possibility of a revival ever happening, it just rules out the possibility of a revival happening right here, right now. I'm sure after looking at the success of X-Men 97, Disney will come around and say, why don't we try to cash in on this by reviving Spider-Man? Because after all, he is probably the most well-known Marvel character out there besides, well, Tony Stark at this point. Right now, we can only hope that Spider-Man from the animated series appears in Beyond the Spider-Verse. I mean, Spectacular got his appearance in Across the Spider-Verse. Spider-Man 65 gets memed reference in both films. I mean, even Spider-Man Unlimited appeared in Across the Spider-Verse. You know, that Spider-Man series that tried to go up against Batman Beyond and Pokemon during the height of Pokemania? But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe showrunner John Semper Jr. was brought on as a consultant and is having talks with Marvel right as we speak. I would like to be wrong because I would like to see a continuation of something I watched as a child. Well, that's it for this video. Please consider liking, subscribing, tipping the channel on Ko-fi. This is Cyril signing off.